The creation of the first institution for Jewish widows and orphans in the United States represented many milestones for the Jews of New Orleans and laid the groundwork for 90 years of progressive philanthropy, education, and direct child care. In 1856, the leadership of New Orleans' Jewish community lent its most distinguished and hardworking members to the task of nurturing an institution dedicated to its most vulnerable children and families. To them, two responsibilities became immediately evident: the need to care for growing numbers of children and widows, and the need to raise funds to offset the costs. By the second annual meeting of the association, the number of residents had grown from 1 widow and 12 children to 7 widows and 26 children. The budget was now $25,000, but donations from countless sources only totaled $19,000. The legislature of the state of Louisiana made its first and last gift of $6,000 to the institution, which, by the way, allowed it to balance its $25,000 budget. The institution's growth proceeded rapidly as the nation approached the eve of the Civil War. By 1860, the current residents, or inmates as they were commonly called, numbered 55 youth and 7 widows. The annual donations and dues from 300 supporting members ensured adequate income to meet ongoing expenses. Early on, the board had inaugurated various traditions which bestowed its legitimacy and ensured its continuity. Each succeeding year, an annual meeting was held in conjunction with the board and officer elections. The meeting featured a grand and distinguished orator who inspired those gathered to learn the needs of the poor and the responsibilities of others to provide for them. The annual meeting was held on the premises of the home so that the community would meet the orphans face to face and gather the inspiration of the moment. All institutions rapidly learned to confront unforeseen problems, such as fixing a leaky roof or tending to the needs of ill children. Few institutions, however, add contingency plans for adjusting to a national civil war and occupation, but that was exactly what New Orleans encountered in 1861. The city was conquered by the Union fleet in April 1862 and occupied for the remainder of the war. The association's president, M.M. Simpson, treasurer, Reverend Gutheim, secretary, Joseph Magner, and board member, Joseph Marks, were all banished by federal troops from the city and did not return until the conclusion of the war in 1865. The institution quickly replaced its officers and endured. Donations were collected in spite of the economic blockades and the related hardships that occupation brought upon the city. By 1867, only 2 years after the end of the Civil War, the board spoke of replacing the current institution with a far larger one. It would take almost 20 years to complete that mission, and in the interim, the home, as it was now increasingly referred to, would endure significant changes in size and structure.